This is Candor Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get right into the show. But before we get into the show, don't forget to check out our website, sylviaexpress.com.
What's up, fabulous people? Okay, I'm very sorry that I was not here last week. As you guys know, if you listen to the show, sometimes I have legal work, so I have a lot of things going on sometimes, so I just can't do it. And so if I'm not here, then you know for a fact that it's because I have something else that I have to do, and because I'm not going anywhere till the imposter in the White House gets ghost. Okay, so anyway, I am someone who loves all genres of music. From hip-hop to alternative music, I love music. I feel like music is life. I can't imagine a world without music. There are times that I feel a certain way, but I can't explain it until I hear a song that summarizes my feelings. I don't know if you ever felt like that, but that's how I felt definitely many times. And I think about two songs when I think about the Trump administration and the Trump crime family. I think of REM. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. I think about that because it has like this calming effect. It's like, damn, I mean, shit is so bad, but oh well. I mean, I'm going to enjoy it until the end because of this madman that we have at the White House. But, and then I think of the Doors. This is the end. Beautiful friend. This is the end. My only friend. The end. And I think of that song because it's symbolic of the Trump presidency. Like, none of this is going to last. All of his madness he has created will come to an end at some point. And it's coming to an end. He's in deep shit now. And his best option, in my opinion, is to spare everyone and cop a deal, resign, work out something that you wouldn't have prison time. That's his best option. Otherwise, he's finished in due course. Now, Cohen, I wasn't able to delve into the Michael-Cohen debacle extensively the last time that I did a show, but it is mandatory that I give my perspective on this, because this situation is the biggest game changer so far. Cohen, as I said in my last show, will be indicted. It's pretty much set in stone after what has transpired. The judge in the Stormy-Daniels case granted Michael Cohen's request for a stay of his case, the Stormy-Daniels case, for 90 days because the judge believes Cohen will be indicted. Here's the clip.
Daniels' lawsuit against President Trump's lawyer Michael Cohen has been put on hold for 3 months. Federal judge making that decision yesterday, citing a likely indictment in the current criminal investigation into Cohen. Earlier this month, Cohen's home and office were raided by FBI agents looking into possible bank fraud. In that case, Cohen has invoked his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, refusing to talk to investigators. He argues this will also limit his ability, at least for now, to answer questions in Daniels' civil case. The judge agreed. Daniels' attorney says they will file an appeal.
Okay. All right. So then Trump decides he's going to literally sink his defense even further by giving the most erratic interview to Fox and Friends. I'm telling you, the Fox and Friends hosts, they started off smiling and laughing. By the end of that interview, they were completely mortified. I mean, if you saw their faces at the end of that interview, they were like, you're toast, homie. You're toast. And look, I'm going to play some of the clips of the things that the imposter said. And I'm going to play this one first because I think it'll explain a lot of things that are transpiring in this, why this Cohen situation is so serious, because this clip is clearly problematic for Trump. But I have to warn you, he sounds like he's foaming at the mouth. I mean, like, he's literally screaming in some of these clips. But anyway, let me play this first clip and I'll talk about it after this. Here it is.
Let's talk about Michael Cohen. Yesterday, through his attorney, he's going to be taking the fifth. What's your reaction to that, being that you work with him for a couple of decades as your attorney?
He's a good person.
What's at stake for you, Mr. President?
Hey, look, Brian, you know Michael. Michael's been on your show, I'm sure, a lot. You know, Michael
we know.
is a good person. Let me just tell you that Michael is in business. He's really a businessman, a fairly big business as I understand it. I don't know his business. But this doesn't have to do with me. Michael is a businessman. He's got a business. He also practices law. I would say probably the big thing is his business. and they're looking at something having to do with his business. I have nothing to do with his business. I can tell you. He's a good guy.
But isn't his business your attorney, Mr. President?
Well, I have many, just so you understand, I have many attorneys. I have attorneys, sadly, I have so many attorneys you wouldn't even believe it.
How much of your, Mr. President, how much of your legal work was handled by Michael Cohen?
Well, as a percentage of my overall legal work, a tiny, tiny little fraction. But Michael would represent me on some things. He represents me, like with this crazy Stormy-Daniels deal. He represented me, and, from what I see, he did absolutely nothing wrong. There were no campaign funds going into this.
Then why is he pleading the Fifth?
Which would have been a problem. Because he's got other things. He's got businesses. And from what I understand, they're looking at his businesses. And I hope he's in great shape. Yeah. But he's got businesses, and his lawyers probably told him to do that.
Okay. Even Fox News at the end of that clip, they interrupted him because they knew that they were hearing the unraveling of derangement syndrome. I mean, he literally threw Cohen under the bus, simultaneously throwing himself under the bus as well. It was like the best of luck rant to Cohen. It was like, best of luck, Cohen. See you on the other side, homie. I'm out. That's basically what that was. And here's the damage he just did to his own defense. He first claimed that he didn't know anything about the Cohen and Stormy-Daniels deal and that people needed to speak to Cohen directly about that because he was completely insulated. I mean, he had no idea what was going on. Okay, but nevertheless, that was a lie, obviously. And now he's claiming he did know about the deal, which makes him equally culpable to Michael Cohen. They say Cohen will be indicted, and I am confident that Cohen will be indicted. Which means Trump is, at a minimum, a co-conspirator by his own admission. So either he will be indicted or he'll be named as an unindicted co-conspirator, which is unsustainable for him. Either situation is unsustainable for him politically. But he just admitted, literally, that he was represented by Michael Cohen on the Stormy-Daniels deal. What Michael Cohen is being investigated for is the Stormy-Daniels deal and a host of other things as well. But one of the things that he's being investigated for is the Stormy-Daniels deal. Okay? In the Stormy-Daniels deal, this particular situation, they are saying that Michael Cohen is going to be indicted. That is the reason why the judge granted that 90-day stay, is because they are saying even the judge believes that Michael Cohen will be indicted. Well, if Michael Cohen's going to be indicted and Trump was the one who hired him to do the illegal work, then Trump is also, at a minimum, a co-conspirator. And that is something he admitted to himself on Fox and Friends. Thank you, Fox and Friends, very much for that interview. I never thought I would be saying thank you to you, but thank you so much for that interview. You let a raging madman on your program to rage and rage and rage to his own demise, and I have to thank you for that. And then in that interview, he distanced himself from Cohen and no longer gave Cohen the reason to remain loyal. Like, if you're Cohen, why would you remain loyal? He brought up his businesses and the fact that he does a fraction of legal work for him, and actually that he really isn't even a lawyer. His attorney-client privilege claims are now hollow. What privilege do you have when your attorney isn't an attorney but really is a businessman? That is what Trump just admitted to. And then in that same interview, because it was just the rambling of a raging madman. You have to go listen to that interview. But in that exact same interview, he literally admits, I'm not even kidding you, he's literally screaming his obstruction in this clip. I'm about to play it. Here it is.
Department, which I try and stay away from, but at some point I won't. Our Justice Department should be looking at that kind of stuff, not the nonsense of collusion with Russia. There is no collusion with me and Russia, and everyone knows it.
Everyone, we could talk to you all day, but it looks like you have a million things to do. But I hope you could join us again, Mr. President.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Good luck with your book. It's going to be a winner.
Thank you so much.
And happy birthday to Melania.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you next Thursday, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Okay.
Phone lines open.
Call in again sometime.
Call in again sometime. Yeah, really? You just cut him off. You wanted to call in again sometime? Yeah, right. You cut him off because the guy was a raging lunatic, and you knew that he had put himself in so many legal problems at that point. But in that clip, he is literally saying, I am going to become a full-blown obstructionist. Okay? Because, see, the part of the problem with Trump is that when he feels that he's in these comfortable environments, sometimes he just starts to ramble, and he doesn't realize that there are actually other people listening. And so the thing is, he starts to ramble, and some of the truth starts to come out from him. And the truth has consequences for someone like Trump, because he's culpable in so many different things. So it's just a nightmare. But anyway, as a consequence of this raging maniac, Republicans and Democrats voted in the judiciary to protect Mueller. Now, it won't reach the floor because turtleneck Mitch McConnell will block it. But the fact that it even passed with bipartisan support shows that the tide has changed. Times have changed. I think the Cohen-raid was the wake-up call. People want to distance themselves because they understand that justice has a long memory. Cohen, by far, is the most significant person affiliated with Trump that got caught up in his scandals. By far. Cohen was a fixer for over 10 years. He knows way too much. And let me tell you something. Trump got outmaneuvered totally with the Cohen case. They have been investigating Cohen for months. Think about it. No one even knew Cohen was on Mueller's radar. And we definitely didn't know the Southern District of New York had been investigating Cohen for months. That is how good Mueller and these prosecutors are. And you know what? Look, I've decided to stop predicting Mueller's next move. He's just simply too good. Anyone, including the media, that claims to know what Mueller will do next is a liar. I knew, like I said it many, many times, that he would secure that investigation in case he was fired. But I didn't think he was coming for Cohen. Cohen wasn't even on my radar. Not at all, like not even slightly on my radar. So what I've decided that I'm going to stick to analyzing what has happened and what that means. But I've learned that if you try to interpret or predict what Mueller's going to do you do that at your own peril. And let me tell you something else. Fox News has also resigned themselves to the fact that Trump is fucked. Here is a clip from Fox News.
This investigation into Michael Cohen, you've said all along, it is very dangerous for the president.
Yes, and here's why. After the FBI raid, Mr. Cohen hired lawyers to bring an application in federal court for the return of everything that was seized, saying these are legal records and they really belong to my clients, or in the alternative, to appoint a special master to segregate what belongs to the clients and what belongs to him. And the government had a very interesting response. The response, about a third of which was redacted, so we couldn't read it, said, look, Michael Cohen has been under investigation for a while, and we believe that much of what he's been doing has not been as a lawyer. It's been as a fixer. And Michael Cohen has some sort of a relationship with Donald Trump, which leads us to believe that, quote, the crime fraud exception to the attorney-client privilege rule applies. Well, what the heck is that? That means that the federal government told a federal judge that President Trump was involved in a crime or a fraud and was communicating to Michael Cohen about it, and therefore those communications were not privileged. Yet when you...
Okay, so you heard what he just said there. He said there's a crime fraud exception, which I think you guys might have heard of if you've been listening to what's been transpiring. There's a crime fraud exception, which means that Trump is not protected by attorney-client privilege if those communications were in the furtherance of a crime. And that the government, in order for them to get that warrant, in order to be able to seize those things that they knew would have Trump's information on them, in order for them to be able to do that, they had to be able to prove that the crime fraud exception applied, which means that what they saw there was evidence of a possible crime from the imposter in the White House. Now, let me tell you something. Cohen is going to flip. Trump, not only did he sink his defense on Fox and Friends, but he also tweeted the following. The New York Times and a third-rate reporter named Maggie Haberman, known as Crooked H. Flunky, who I don't speak to and have nothing to do with, and are going out of their way to destroy Michael Cohen and his relationship with me in the hope that he will flip. They use ... I mean, looks like this guy's nuts. Non-existent sources and a drunk, drugged-up loser who hates Michael, a fine person with a wonderful family. Michael's a businessman for his own account lawyer who I have always liked and respected. Most people will flip if the government lets them out of trouble, even if ... I mean, like this guy, Jesus, he doesn't know what ellipses are like. It means lying or making up stories. Sorry, I don't see Michael doing that despite the horrible witch hunt and the dishonest media. Now, first of all, let me explain something. For the record, Trump just admitted on Twitter that he likely committed a crime or crimes. People can't flip on you if you didn't commit a crime. What could Michael Cohen say that would be deemed flipping? Is it simply something like the hair dyes that Trump uses, or who puts in his hair plugs, the Trump hair plugs? I mean, like, people can only flip on you if you have committed a crime. Otherwise, they aren't flipping. They are just rambling nonsense a prosecutor could care less about. And there is speculation that Cohen will flip, and this is from Trump allies. To presume he would flip means they believe Trump and Cohen committed a crime or crimes for which they hope Cohen won't talk. Look, raids make people rethink their priorities. They make you even reconsider your first name and your last. You'd be like, what is my name? My name. I don't know what my name is. I mean, I'm telling you, like, a raid will make you change everything you knew about yourself. But people are speculating that Cohen will flip. And here's a clip from Morning Joe where they were just talking about, will he flip or will he not flip? Here it is.
Including whether or not Cohen will flip. Who wouldn't flip if your entire life is on the line?
Well, I liked the anecdote where one of his lawyers said, okay, if 100 is complete loyalty towards you, Mr. President, Michael Cohen is a 1 when it comes to flipping. I don't know if that's quite the case, but the man has absolutely no reason to remain loyal to somebody who, again, has put him in the same position that others have been put in before.
I mean, this is just so crazy. Just imagine having this casual conversation about the fact whether or not somebody's going to flip on the president of the United States, which means somebody's going to tell the prosecutors about crimes that the alleged imposter in the White House has committed. Can you imagine that? And we're just like having a casual conversation about it. It's just crazy what's happened in this country. But I'm about 80% sure that Michael Cohen's going to flip. And if he does, then it's over. He's going to tell them everything, from the shady deals to the criminal enterprises to Trump and Russia to Ivanka, Jared, Don Jr., and the whole cabal. They are all going down if that happens. So right now, the person that Trump should have been trying to keep happy was Michael Cohen, and he didn't. He went in there and basically threw Michael Cohen under the bus, which giving Michael Cohen absolutely no reason to stay loyal to Trump. And then let me just tell you something. Financially, as well, he's being litigated into the poorhouse. Currently, he has numerous lawsuits and criminal woes that he has to defend. He has a stormy-daniels case, a defamation lawsuit, Russia investigation, the Cohen case, because of the documents that are with the prosecutors that he's claiming are part of attorney-client privilege. The DNC is also suing him. I mean, unprecedented times call for unprecedented measures. The DNC lawsuit may not bear any monetary fruit at the end of the case, but it will likely gain the results anticipated. Furthermore, Trump cannot obstruct the DNC lawsuit in any way. He has no power to obstruct this case or stop it, which means the DNC will get discovery and depositions and expose this imposter in the White House. So whether or not at the end of the day he's found liable and he has to pay damages or whatever else is really irrelevant. At the end of the day, the information will be out, and I think that's the purpose of them doing it in the first place. And then, so where is Trump really going to go from now? Like, if you hear about everything that's going on, like, where's he going to go right now? I mean, the 3D, 4D chess nonsense has been destroyed. Trump was playing like literally Go Fish while the government and Mueller were playing chess and pokers. He's gotten beaten up so far, overwhelmed with legal woes. He's running out of allies on Capitol Hill. He's running out of his base support. He can't pardon or fire his way out. Therefore, what does he have left? I say it's over. It's been for a while, but the Cohen situation, coupled with all the legal exposure, losing his base, makes his continuation untenable. I'll be right back.
Mekka-don in this.
Drop that bomb buckler.
I'm feeling like $1 million. Cutting up just for the money. We like nip-and-tuck. Jet like Benny from the Sandlot. Cost $50,000 for my Hancock. Baby. Riding to the top. Driving haters crazy. Never gonna stop. I'm feeling like $1 million. Cutting up just for the money, we like nip-and-tuck. Wristwatch, tip-top, pockets on a milli. Give a toast to all my people, we like dilly-dilly. Pilot boys staying fly, Super Bowl like Philly. When they ask me if I'm fly, I'm like, really? 3 steps ahead, staying on the move. Don't listen to the gossip, it's barely ever true. Don't matter what you say, just matters what you do. They criticize the dawn, I'm like, who the heck are you? I'm feeling like $1 million. Cutting up just for the money, we like nip-and-tuck. Jet like Benny from the Sandlot. Cost $50,000 for my Hancock.
Okay, fabulous people. That was called NIP&TUCK by Mekka-don. If you want to check it out, if you want to get it, I'm going to put the link in there. I love it. It's a new song. Check it out. It's called NIP&TUCK. And the link is going to be in the description box. Okay. Now, I always said that I was going to talk about something else that I thought was kind of important from a social or a social civil kind of perspective or whatever. So let me just talk about this. It's the Joy-Ann-Reid situation. Joy-Ann-Reid of MSNBC is facing backlash for blog posts she made a long time ago. And here's my perspective. I've disagreed with Joy on so many occasions, especially during the 2016 election. However, I'm not blinded by my disagreements with her to the extent that I can no longer call a spade a spade. The comments, if made, were horrendous comments. Nevertheless, if we are being candid, many of us, including myself, harbored irrational homophobic beliefs because we were plagued by a society that demanded gay condemnation. We've all been ignorant about homosexuality. We use homophobic slurs with ease like, stop being a fag, because we aren't even cognizant of our own ignorance. Hillary Clinton and President Obama didn't publicly support gay marriage until like 2013. Millions of gay people refused a right to a basic right like marriage until recently. We are a country that had a law we used to call don't ask, don't tell. We forced people of the LGBTQ community to live in the closet if they wanted to join the military. It was literally ingrained in us from the very beginning that being gay was the absolute abomination. It was and is, unfortunately, still socially acceptable to be homophobic, which is a tragedy. However, Joy recognized the error of her ways, as many of us have, and apologized. I know I've evolved on gay rights over time as I've learned how absurd it is to deny them the same rights as any other person. As a black person, I can understand their plight. They are definitely overtly discriminated against. Nevertheless, with that being said, I cannot help but point out the glaring hypocrisy and the demands for Joy to apologize, but not Megyn-Kelly, who has said things on air that are even worse. Here's Megyn-Kelly.
What is the evidence that what happened to Eric Garner and what happened to Michael Brown has anything to do with race?
They don't want, quote, unequal neighborhoods. Unequal neighborhoods. They think too many communities are too white, too privileged, with too big McMansions, too many big McMansions. And they want to diversify the communities, whether the communities want it or not.
There are very few companies in America, whether they're public or private, in which if you stick 40 FBI agents on the company and review every email and every document and every communication you can between the employees, you won't find any racist emails, any inappropriate comments. The new Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party, new Black Panther, the new Black Panther, the new Black Panther, new Black Panther, new Black Panthers, new Black Panthers.
You hear the girl in the video saying, call my mother, please, call my mother, because she understands what's getting ready, what could possibly happen to her.
The girl was no saint either. He had told her to leave, and she continued to linger.
It's just a good policy. Just even if you know the cop is in the wrong, comply and complain later.
In Slate, they have a piece on .com. Santa Claus should not be a white man anymore. And when I saw this headline, I kind of laughed, and I said, oh, this is so ridiculous. Yet another person claiming it's racist to have a white Santa, you know? And by the way, for all you kids watching at home, Santa just is white. Just because it makes you feel uncomfortable doesn't mean it has to change. You know, I mean, Jesus was a white man, too.
Okay. So that's Megyn-Kelly, and Megyn-Kelly doesn't have to apologize. Instead, she gets a promotion from NBC, paying her even more than Fox News. No one is demanding an apology from her or the countless other people at these right-wing maniac sites that say racist and homophobic rhetoric all the time. I know there'll be some who will say that Joy is a better person than those people, so she should apologize and make it right. I agree. There will be others arguing it's whataboutism that I'm saying. Maybe it is. However, that doesn't answer the question about why she is forced to apologize while someone like Megyn-Kelly gets a raise. Remember, MSNBC is a subsidiary of NBC. Megyn-Kelly has her own show on NBC, and no one needs to look far or dig to find her overtly offensive comments. Furthermore, there is an imposter in the White House and his minions that spew racist, bigoted, homophobic, xenophobic, anti-Semitic, misogynistic nonsense daily. If your ire isn't focused on them, then leave Joy the hell alone. If you are still condemning her but forgive Bill Maher, who said nigga on TV, then ask yourself, what's the difference? They both took responsibility. Therefore, why is Joy's transgressions more offensive to you? For these Republicans feigning outrage over blog posts Joy have made years ago, please spare me your antics and theatrics. You aren't persuasive. You had no problem with Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Megyn-Kelly, and every other crazy right-wing bigot spewing bigotry every single day. Remember, you guys voted for the biggest proponent of every phobia known to mankind. So besides attempting to ruin an outspoken Trump critic like Joy-Ann-Reid, do you have any other agenda other than illuminating your own hypocrisy? Please stop wasting everyone's time with your bullshit. Finally, I am not gay. Therefore, I cannot say that Joy's apology was sufficient to them. I hope it was. However, what I know is that of all the names of the people who I named that have said offensive things, only Joy and Bill Maher took responsibility. So maybe it is time for a little equilibrium and demand that the Republicans who spewed this divisiveness be held to the same standard. Please don't make me wait too long for their mythical forthcoming apology. I could be a skeleton by then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for me. Don't forget to check out SylviaExpress.com. That's SylviaExpress.com. Don't forget to check it out this week. And also, if you like that song that I played at the first break called NIP&TUCK, don't forget to check it out. In the link, the description box is in the link. I love that song. But nevertheless, the imposter in the White House is going down, and we all have cause to celebrate. So definitely enjoy your Saturday, and I will see you guys next week. And thank you for bearing with me, the fact that I wasn't here last week. But I know that some of you guys who listen here, you guys are loyal listeners. I thank you so much, and I appreciate you guys so much. So till next week, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check out SylviaExpress.com, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good weekend. Bye.